technique of enclosing a stenciled pattern inside a shape is very useful for doing accent features and also for doing furniture. First of all, I am going to stencil the shape. And because it's a large shape, I'm going to use a roller to apply the paint. It's just so much faster and the coverage is even. I start on the outside edge and work my way into the centre of the shape. That way I'm not pushing paint underneath the bridges of the stencil. I do have a little of Stencilease's spray repositioning adhesive on the back of this, and that should hold it securely in position. With that and the fact that I'm just using a damp paint roller, it's not wet, then we should have a nice crisp edge to this circle. So the circle is now dry. I'm going to leave it in place because this rather fancy lacy pattern is going over the top of it. I'll apply a light amount of the spray repositioning adhesive. Just decide which bits of the pattern will look nicest. Just think about it for a minute. Yeah, I've got a bird just poking into the picture here. That should be really quite nice. Okay. Press it all into position. I'm going to pick some nice bright colours which I shall just randomly swirl around into this shape, and then all the pattern will be contained inside the circle stencil. You'll see in a minute. And take a small amount of paint into a large brush. Work it in. This technique of random swirling of the paint really needs a dry brush. You can see how I'm just randomly letting the brush dance over this. When the brush gets too dry, just reapply the paint. Okay, there's little bits of the orange colour going throughout the pattern. Now it's time for the next one. Each time I use a different paint, I always do the dab test again, just to make sure. Different paints, even though they're in the same make, behave really quite differently from each other. So now the pink paint is going over some of the areas of orange, keeping up the randomness of this. If you apply the paint very, very lightly, you can get away with all sorts of colour combinations whilst you blend them together. Using the slightly smaller brush here to just add a little bit of detail rather than apply it in such a wide sweep as I did with the other two colours. I think I might just go to a larger brush. I rather like the effect of the turquoise, and I think we'll have some more of it. Let's see what we have. Okay. So now, once we take the circle stencil off, we should have a nice accent feature that would work for your walls, floors, furniture. Can we just go and apply this to a table?